Hello, hello. Just started streaming. Anyone tuning in? There's a new event. There's a new event going live. For those that may not have heard. Welcome to the stream. Welcome one, welcome all. It's a beautiful day to be playing Pokemon Sleep. Howdy. Anyone tuning in? I'm sure I'll be getting people soon. Just waiting for now. In the meantime, I'll check my Pokemon. Maybe Cresselia will have a skill proc. No, she does not. Cool. Espeon did, though, and Swalot had a double proc, so we do like seeing that. Does help with the Dream Shard costs of everything right now. It is quite the expense that we've had lately. Good evening, SPB 3145. Glad to have you here. It is indeed a good evening. We got impromptu Pokemon Sleep news. Packed Portions Cooking Week. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I did a whole boatload of planning in my last session, which is going to be kind of crazy, but I don't think I'm going to good camp ticket this event. Because I think I can, like, the meal pot size increases just by default, so I don't think I really need the good camp ticket during it, but I think the goal is to try and level whatever meal that I get. Or whatever meal that I need to get. So, ideally that's gratin if we get salads, because I think this is a good one for just leveling the meals. Don't have to use a good camp ticket. Granted, it'd be preferable to be at an island where I can actually have area bonus so that they level faster, but that conflicts with other goals that I have, so I think the goal is to go for Bulldoze Guacamole or Obergoro Gratin, and then travel ticket to make sure I get to either of the correct place. The correct place indeed. And map bonus is only going to be, currently it's at, it'll be 15, it'll be 20%. That's going to be rough, let me tell you. But we want to try and plan a team that can reliably make either of these meals, the Overgrow Gratin or the Bulldoze Guacamole and Chips. And unlike my usual playstyle, I'm just going to go meal or nothing, because the goal is just going to be to level the meal. Ideally, we get a Swalot on there as well, but if we don't, we don't. That's kind of my thought line with that. So, ideally, we stockpile avocados the week prior to. So given that it's 28 for the other one, 28 times 3 times 7, 588 avocados. That's going to be a tough ask. I don't know if we're going to be able to get that stockpiled up in just a week. I did... Oh, I forgot that I had this all... There we go. We're going to get rid of the always max energy there. And we're just going to clear that. Okay. I did put my trap engine here, right? Yes. I accidentally saved it as a level 60 Flygon. If we make it level 30, how many is it making? That's per week. 406 per week does not look good. Hello, hello, Sundance Kid. 201. Glad to have you in chat. Okay, yeah. That's not gonna quite cut it unless I start running it to produce avocados in the week prior. Like this week. I think I'd have to start running it this week to make sure I get enough avocados. Like, end of this week, just to make a couple extra days. How many more days would I need? So it's 58 per day. So basically I need 10 days plus 1 extra, so like 11 days. 1 extra for the remainder. So I need 11 days of stockpiling avocados. So I'd have to start with it on this Thursday. I'd have to start running it this Thursday. Which I really don't want to be doing, but oh well. I'll consider it. Well, either way, 588 avocados. That's really a lot. But let's just make this calc just to see. Plus 18. Wait, that seems off. Did I do a miscalc somewhere? 7. Yeah, that's 588. Why is it plus 18? Oh, I guess because, yeah, 3 meals of... Yeah, that's 6 more. That does add up. My brain's not doing math right now, I guess. Okay. Let's see. So that's eliminating the need for any sort of avocado production. Because then we can just run Cresselia and, I guess, Espeon for milk. Some milk. My goodness. And then oil with Luxray. Now, this event will also have a few other boosts. This will be only 1.25 times. And meal energy recovery is a 5. I don't know why it's bonus 5. I don't know if this is bonus or... No, because current is null, so base is null. So custom is 5 more. Then skill effect boost of ingredient magnets. Where is that? Is 1.5. I could just type this in. That'd probably be a lot easier. And then all the ingredient draw skills, also 1.5. I wish it could just say universally suggestion for Rain on X. Say all the ingredient drop skills boosted by 1.5 times. That'd be a lot nicer. Are they boosting plus? I imagine they're boosting plus because it doesn't say... Yeah. It doesn't specify the other ingredient draw, so I'd assume plus would also be boosted then. It doesn't really matter. I don't intend to run a plusle. Or a Toxtricity, for that matter. Okay, is that it? I think that is it. For all the skills that are boosted. Seems like it. Okay. And I think that is it, right? Well, double pot size. Pot capacity. 2x. That's a pretty big one. Oh, and then the ingredient specialist boost. That's right. The big one that actually makes a difference. +1 for ingredient specialists. I think that's everything with this event. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. That's a lot of boosts. Okay. Now that that's accounted for, this Luxray doesn't actually quite do it. Unless I can get it to level 60. In which case it does make enough. Can I do that? That is a very good question. Let's see. Luxray. Where is that guy in my box? I don't believe I can without any sort of handy candy investment or any sort of candy boost. So there is a candy boost coming around with this event, but I'd rather just plot for with the levels that I currently have so I don't have to spend any resources on things I don't want to be. Which is a bit rough because that's a lot of oil shy. Do I have any other oil Pokemon? I guess I do have... What else do I have that makes oil? Like, there's my Luxray, my Entei. My Entei makes oil and... Oh, wait, tomatoes aren't used in this meal. What am I thinking? That actually ruins that. I have a... Well, that would only be good if I sub-skill seeded it. Yeah, I don't really have anything else for oil, other than my Feraligatr, I guess. Which if the last thing was something with helping bonus, that would get me across this threshold, but I would need a potato producer with help bonus. Which I do have one. I do have a potato golem who has helping bonus right here. And even at level 30, he makes enough potatoes. But I'm still 84 milk shy, which that is way too much. So I need to replace Espeon with an actual milk producer. Something with milk, and I do have milk Pokemon. My best one is Toxel, but that would require a plus Pokemon as well. No, that was an ABB Blastoise. I don't have a great way of padding out the rest of this milk. Ugh. I'll be short on the milk or on the oil. Or on the potatoes. No matter which way I cut it. Let's see. Because I'm just... If I could get this Lux rate of 60, that would save all my problems. The potatoes were fine. But, ooh. This is rough. Because I don't have a great milk farmer, particularly. I guess Vaporeon kind of makes some milk. Not a whole lot, though. And its skill is boosted, but not by that much. Yeah, I need better... What if I just run this Croagunk at level 30? Yeah, he makes it at +6 with the Luxray. I'd be better to run my... I'd be better to run my Feraligatr in that case. I guess I could evolve him and that would be a lot better. Actually, at that point. Yeah, no, I still would need the Luxray. I think the only solution here is get the Luxray to 60 if I can. But I don't think I can. If I can do that, though, then I have a solution in running Espeon for milk and just something else. Wait, no, not that button. Darn it. I guess this guy? Well, I have this guy as well. And his skill is boosted. If I can make him an amped and get him to level 30. Although I'm not going to have the main skill seeds to put into him, so how much is he actually going to make? Not really all that much. Like, if I run him with another plus or minus Pokemon... Which, do I even have another plus? I guess I do have my Plusle. I do have a Plusle in the box that I never logged in, but I don't remember it being good. I don't remember it being particularly good, but we'll add it to the team just like that. And that's still not enough milk. So I'd rather go about it just with 2 evolutions at their current level. Level 61 there. Or is it time for me to finally do the thing that I've talked about for a while, and that's sub-skill seeding my Espeon's ingredient finding S. I use it so much for milk. Honestly, I think it could be beneficial. If I could actually sub-skill seed this thing. I've talked about it for a while. Even that doesn't make enough, because it's just such a crazy milk requirement. I also do have my milk cats. I do have a couple milk gatitos. Darn it. Okay. Maybe if we have that guy, and then also use one of the milk cats, which I apparently did not save any of them. Why did I not do that? Okay. Let me just save these guys real quick. for the future. Okay, research XP, ingredient finding M, skill level up M, help speed S, skill level up S. Nature, ingredients up, speed down. And export to Pokebox. And now let's modify it for the next one that I have. Because I want these guys saved so that I can actually compare them quickly in the future. Sleep EXP, help speed S, skill trigger M, inventory S, inventory L. Why do I have... Oh, wait, no, this is not what I'm actually looking at investing. This one, berry finding S, ingredient finder S, ingredient finding M, inventory M, skill trigger M, neutral nature. I think that was the last one I was considering investing. It was just the two of them. Cool. I think... Wait, that's wrong. It was berry finding S, then ingredient finding... Whatever. I'll fix it later. In the actual box where I saved it. It's not like it's really going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Oh, wait a minute. Does it not show me it because they're not at a level where they have it yet? Ah, wait. I already had them in the box. I just wasted a bunch of time. Cool. Wait. Why do I... Did I... So yes, this one's this one. This one... Wait, do I have that one? What is this one? I think I transferred this one. Because I don't see it in my box. I must have gotten rid of it. Yeah, I must have gotten rid of that one. But this one seems better. Was it this one? Yeah. There's 2 tiers of ingredient finding here. This one does have 2 tiers. This one's probably better for ingredient finding in general. This one's better for berries. This one's going to be better immediately if we don't have the time to invest it. So, if I can get it to that point where I can evolve it, and I can get it to level 30 just to unlock the milk. I still don't make enough milk, even with the event boosts. I guess I could stockpile a little bit, but that cuts back how much we're able to stockpile in other ingredients. Because that's 210 milk that we have to stockpile. So then for the other... Oh, wait, no, we wanted to stockpile that much? Where did I get that? No, it's 9 per day, so 10... It'd be 70. So you want a little bit of security, so a little bit extra. It says at 658. Let's duplicate this team. Howdy, sleepers. Hey there, Bebo Dockin. Not too many people tuning in on this bright Tuesday night. I guess that makes sense. It is kind of impromptu. Okay. Salads, though, for the bulldoze, guacamole, and chips. We already know avocados are there. The soybeans are being shockingly handled by the golem pretty well, despite it being an A-B. Like, it's only off the A ingredient that is doing that, but we'll get rid of all these guys. In fact, my Dragonite can definitely... Doing this event, I feel pretty confident in it. Although, that's not as much as I would have expected, actually. I've talked about this team before. I don't know if I can get it to level 60 before now and then. It's pretty close-ish. Ooh, no, it's not close. I don't think I have the candies to get it there. Yeah, I can only get to level 56, and I do not have the handy candies. So we'll leave it at 50. Well, 51, because that's where it already is, so. We can get that much corn and that many herbs. The herbs are lacking. I will say that. And I don't think I have any other herb farmers. Everything is just not quite there yet. I do have this mono shiny Gengar I caught that's okay. And during this event, that may be the route to go. Just to get those last bit of herbs there. But then soybeans are going to be real rough. Although if I do have a Geodude. If I can get him to 30, make him a Golem. I don't know if I can pull that off, but then I make plenty of soybeans. Only a little bit behind on corn. That's like 35 corn would be needed. That is good. Spiritomb, ABB Avocado, potentially. I don't really know what to think about Spiritomb. I'm not really excited for it. I mean, it's a cool Pokemon, don't get me wrong. But I'm not really excited for it just because of the nature of it being a 16-pip Pokemon. Mushroom, pumpkin. What would be I wonder what the proportions... Because if you make pumpkins be the B ingredient on anything, they're naturally going to have a really low count. I made a while back, I made a spreadsheet that would project roughly how many ingredients we would get based off of the A ingredient because of the 257 proportions. Even if we had leeks, the pumpkins would not be... Oh, ignore that. That's something else I'm working on. So yeah, it'd be 2, 5, 7 is the normal split. So if we did this for, say, soybean, or apple, milk, soybean. Should I test myself and see how much I know this? The progression order. I actually have it on my left. Let me close out of that so I don't cheat. Okay, I'm doing this from memory. Apple, milk, soybean. I think the next one up is bean sausage. Because I know it's 90, 98, 100. I think 101. Now, I don't think there's anything for 102. I think it's then immediately honey with 103. True, I'm over 16-pip Pokemon. Agreed. They've eased on it for a while, though, but I'm not surprised we're getting another one. It has been some time. And for a while there, it was like every Pokemon they were adding was 16-pip. Honestly, I think the rate they've been doing it is alright. We don't need to get hype over every new release. Every new release is cool, but in this case, I don't think it's supposed to be one we're that excited about. I don't think it's going to be anything groundbreaking. It's a new 16-pip Pokemon that's probably going to be better at doing whatever it does than currently existing options. But it's going to be too expensive to really consider hunting. So, yeah. It's been a nice break. I hope they don't ever return to the crazy numbers they had earlier this year of just every single new Pokemon being a 16-pip. Because that really sucked. Is there anything for 104 also? So, wait. Apple, milk, soybean, bean, sausage, honey. Ginger, I think, is 104. I don't think there's anything for 105. 106. There's gotta be something in that range. I know eggs, I think, are 115. I'll be interested to see my accuracy on this in the end. Spiritomb is necessary. Well, we don't know what it's gonna have yet. I feel like there's something with 110. I think there's an ingredient with 110, but I forgot what it is. I don't know avocado strength, but I know where they rank in the rankings. I know the late game stuff. Pumpkins are 250. Tails are 300 something. I think like 367? Somewhere in there. Leeks are 187, I believe. It's 180 something. /S. Oh, gosh. Well, it's no longer mushrooms. It's now avocados, I believe. And then mushrooms. I know herbs are in here at 130. And cacao is at 151. I really feel like there's something at 110. Anyway, I know that corn is around here at like 125. Not that much. Yeah, I don't remember. We'll see. Wait, I give up at this point. Okay. Oh, ginger's 109. Whoops. I seriously undercut ginger. I also apparently swapped honey and sausage. So I can just... Okay, tomatoes, that's what was 110. I knew there was something that was 110. I forgot about... Oh, wow, I also made corn weaker than it is. 140 is where corn's at. And then potatoes. How could I forget about potatoes? Coffee's 153. I would have never gotten that one. I'll be completely honest. Mushrooms. Oh, wait. Mushrooms were actually higher than avocado. 167. That means, yeah, 185. Whoops. I made leeks a little bit stronger. And what was avocado? 162. Okay. I believe that's... Oh, it's 342 for tails. I knew it was in the 300s, but... Okay, I think that's all the ingredients. Wait, I forgot about oil. Oil's 121. Okay. Cool. There we go. So, you can see how much the value of... Wait, why is it 0? Oh, because it... Whoops! Not 3, that should be 2. There we go. That's more correct. So these are the values of each one. So now theoretically from this table you can make a projection of each, and you can make each ingredient with its own table. See what it would be if that ingredient was the A ingredient for like what the B and C procs would be of every single ingredient. That would take a long time though. But we can see roughly how much this translates to. So I have the numbers here now. So let's say it was a leek mono option. How many pumpkins would that be? This divided by this. It'd be roughly 5 leeks at that final proc. Or... They usually tend to round down, I've noticed. So 3 to 4, and then 5 to 8. That wouldn't be terrible if they made it leeks, but I doubt they would make it leeks. Because that seems a little bit... I don't know, spendy. If they made it mushrooms, it'd be 3 and 4 to 5. That's gonna be pretty difficult to compete with Gorgeist as a... You'd have to have some pretty bonkers ingredient rates to be able to compete with that for pumpkin productivity. It's possible. Certainly possible. Anything's theoretically possible. Plausible, I might say. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to really achieve these goals I've set here. The biggest one that I'm concerned about is the avocado count. For sure. I guess, theoretically, if I run it alongside... Oh, whoops. That was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to here. If I run it alongside my Swalot and my Espeon, then it does get 2 help bonus stacks, which does increase the productivity a decent amount, coming up to 79 per day. And that would be 553 in a week, so I'd only have to do like 1 extra day of running it to get that last little bit of extra avocado with 30. But also, is this applying the boost? Because I don't want to have the event bonus on this one. Yeah, the event bonus was there before. That sucks. So 439. I could run something else. Let me see if I have anything else with avocados. I've got the Dwebble. I do have the shiny Trapinch. Yeah, nothing's gonna make me a good amount of avocados though, aside from the one that I caught. So, and that's if I subskill seed it and like get the subskill seed to land on the right ingredient. I forgot about that. Which I only have 1 subskill seed right now. Can I buy another one if it misfires? I need to check that. Let's see. I can. I still do have another subskill seed in the shop, but I do not have enough sleep points for it. I've been spending my sleep points lately hunting the new Pokemon, so that puts me in a bit of a tough bind because I kind of have to gamble on getting that. And if it lands on the skill trigger, then I'm just really screwed. Because what if this instead is Ingredient Fighting S? That's not going to be nearly as much. Only 381 in a week. I should really start running this now if this is what I want to do, but I don't want to give up this week. Because this week's well, isn't more important though. What's the Master 3 reward for me? Because if I can just tank not getting the Master 3 reward because it's not an important incense, then what do I care? Like, I got Dwebble. I don't care about that. I don't need it that badly on my main account. I can just tank strength this week, so I could theoretically start running it now to build up the avocados and start prepping for 2 weeks from now, which is really crazy to think about. I also want to make sure that I have 2 crafts. Wait, what? Oh, it got rid of the boosts. Okay. Okay, let's see. Where was that? Ingredient count. What? Oh, yeah. Okay, reset there. There we go. That's really what we're looking at. And we're looking at that team and this team. And we want to make sure that we have 2 crafts of the meals prepped. So, preferably 3 if we can get it. Because I think that's the only overlap in the top meals we have. Is the avocados. So, we want 50 corns, 60 herbs, 44 soybeans. Herbs and 44 soybeans. And that puts us beyond 800. That's not good, so I guess we'll just do 1 craft. Which this needed to be 35 just to meet the meal requirements for the week, so 30. And then the other meal was how much? The Overgrow Gratin? 41. Well, we already have the milk. Because we already have 70 of that, so then 32 and 20. 32 oil, 20 potatoes. Which, we can do it! We can fit all of the stuff required. Cool. So that's my ingredient list that I want to prep, I suppose. Maybe get a little bit more corn in there because a +2 is not a very good margin. And, ooh, but milk's not very good either. At +1. Okay. I guess we'll stuff 3 more milk in there because that's less confident than the corn. So this is the ingredient list we ideally want to prep between now and then. Mostly avocados. I guess I don't really need... Well, I should probably push for at least 8 spawns. I should probably at least push for 8 spawns. So I guess I didn't really think about that. What does it take for 8 spawns? Because maybe right after I get to that point, then I'll start tanking strength and just prep for the rest of the week. It's kind of the goal. Let's see. Maps. Where's the maps? There they are. Now, earlier today, these were being slow for me. I'll be completely honest. I don't know if it'll... There, it loaded this time. So, we want to see... Oh, they moved this. Spawn count, drowsy power. That's what we want. So, to get 8 spawns, we need Ultra 3. I'm currently at Great 3. We need 973,000 strength. I'm currently sitting at 430,000 strength, roughly. Although I haven't made dinner yet. I'll do that real quick. Although my dinners right now, my meals are not producing all that much strength right now. So, I'm not expecting too much from this. But I will clear out all the ingredients that I don't need for this if I'm going to start doing some mild prep. Also, I already have the milk, apparently. That's funny. And I have 10 avocados. Wait, I didn't need soybeans too. I have the soybean count also. Because I've just not been using my ingredients. I have just some passively stored up already. Okay. So how's everybody out there doing tonight? Are you guys having great nights? How are you guys planning for this event specifically? I want to hear a little bit from chat. Those of you that are out there. 18,000 strength, by the way. Not really a very good meal. That's far, far from a good meal in this game. I think the sleepers actually had a stronger meal tonight, if I'm completely honest, because we made the, what's it called? The Calm Mind Fruit Salad. Okay. So that pushes us to 450k, so I'm about halfway there in 2 nights. That does give me 3 nights, but, not sure. I just found about it when he started streaming. Cool, cool. Well, it's Pack Portions Cooking Week, part 2 now. It's pretty much the same as the first time around, although, in my opinion, they've nerfed it a little bit. Made it just a little bit weaker than it has been in the past. Than it was last time, because they decreased the overall percent gained by the strength gains from dishes. If we're looking at the teams that I'm prepping, they're actually not gaining much strength at all. Only hitting about 2.1 million, but... Oh well. 2.1 million for this team, or 2.1 million for this team. Basically 2.1 million strength, no matter which one I end up going with. No matter which one I end up landing. But it's one consistent prepped list of ingredients for that across 2 potential meals, using some easy travel tickets to transfer between them. That's currently my plans, and the reason why is to just level up these meals. I just want to level up these meals, because I think long-term I might be using them. Because they're pretty strong, and I have a decent avocado farmer that meets that meta call already. Guacamole and chips I'm particularly excited about. That's the one I prefer to land. But I guess I do have things for the gratin if I land it, but no planning. Still excited to see what the ingredient list is, even if it is 16 pips. Yeah, I could agree with that. I'm always interested to see what new Pokemon can bring and how they perform and how they stand up against the rest of the Pokemon in the game, because it is kind of just interesting. And it is always fun to theorize and see what everybody else can do with it. I don't know if I'll hunt it. I may hunt it, but I think I just need to save my sleep points right now. It's gonna be pretty expensive to hunt anything right now. Hunting things costs a lot of biscuits. Who would have known? It's almost like biscuits are one of the primary resources in this game. So yeah, value of biscuits. It's 16 pips. I'm not expecting it to be amazing, and who knows what it'll make. I wanted to try and speculate based off of what was in this image. I in the video that I posted, I did talk about that a little bit. But I wanted to try and speculate off of that, but if you looked at the image from last year, these 3 meals and actually all the meals in the background are exactly the same between the 2 images. They just swapped out the images of the Pokemon that were in the picture. I think last year this was a Squirtle. I don't remember what this one was, but it was Mawile in the middle, obviously. Spiritomb a very random choice to add, though. Well, I could see that being kind of random. I don't know, though. A lot of people like Spiritomb. And also, it's a Dark type, which, given that Darkrai is their mythical Pokemon, I think they want to make an all-Dark type team viable. In fact, if we go off of that theory, then we could maybe actually make a prediction for what ingredients it might have. So let's see. What Dark-type Pokemon are currently in the game, and what sort of ingredients can they produce? Because I think they kind of want to make a Dark-type team viable. So we want Berry-type. Dark. So we got Tyranitar, who can make soybeans, which is notable. So we have these 3 options for Tyranitar, who's an ingredient specialist. What's another Dark-type Pokemon? Are there any other Meowscarada who can make milk and potatoes? Hold up, there might actually be something here. Because I know that those top-tier meals, one of them takes milk and potatoes. Another one does take soybeans, which Tyranitar produces. That does kind of lend itself in that it might be targeting one of these meals to make a team that's viable as a Dark type. Additionally, there's also Umbreon, which can make more milk and supplements to Meowscarada. If basing on this theory. Any other Dark types? Well, there's a lot of other Dark types, but... Absol, which makes cacao and apples. Yeah, there's not really too much with that as far as synergy goes. Like, cacao does synergize with milk, which Meowscarada makes. Coffee and honey are also in that. And there's not really any way to make coffee or honey on any of these. So coffee and honey could be options as well. I guess there really isn't anything with corn or herbs in that, but there is something for milk and potatoes on this theoretical team. I know Sableye can produce a little bit of oil. I guess Houndoom makes some herbs. So for anyone who's wondering what I'm looking at right now. I think the best bet, honestly, is they probably want some Meowscarada synergy. So I wouldn't be surprised if it had avocado, to give us another option for that, and oil. My guess is A, oil, B, avocado. That's my official guess. I don't know what C ingredient. We'll just throw in, I guess, I don't know, corn. Because Houndoom has herbs, and there's nothing that would be on a Dark-type team that could produce corn. So my guess is corn. That's my official guess. A oil, B avocado, C corn. If that's correct, somebody clip this, because this was recorded beforehand. Although A oil would be kind of funny, because that's what we were originally that's what I was originally predicting for Salamence. So, yeah, that's my prediction for now. We'll see as time goes on if that turns out to be correct. Does anybody else out there have any guesses? I guess what can potatoes and soybeans synergize at all, especially with ginger? Like there is here there. I don't think there's really anything with potatoes and soybeans, or potatoes and ginger. There's something with potatoes and ginger if I'm right somewhere. Is there something with I don't think there's anything with potatoes and ginger. Well, that's the Kangaskhan combo. Yeah, no, there isn't. So, yeah. Spiritium C ingredient, Trapped Souls, new ingredient. Well, if there was a new ingredient of Trapped Souls, 1, yum. 2, it'd probably be in the news. I know that wasn't a serious suggestion. I'm not an idiot, but I wanted to make that joke. But yeah, it's new. It's got a skill that already is introduced into the game, otherwise we'd have news about a new skill as well. And it's starting to appear on December 1st, so we'll know at the end of November what it's like, the stats for it. We might have a little bit of information from data mines, probably confirming for us. Well, it can't necessarily confirm specialty, but we can get inventory. If it's got a bigger inventory, that could show that there might be a discrepancy between its A and B ingredients value. Like with that really wasn't the case with Gorgeist, because Gorgeist didn't have a great inventory. But here, I flagged it as potentially A, oil, B, avocado, C, what was it that I said? Corn? Okay. I'm doing good. Last week I hit Master 9 with 5% area bonus, cooking the best salads. So we got desserts and drinks. Congrats there. It's not the easiest thing to do. I don't remember where I hit. It wasn't that high, though. I wasn't really shooting for that much strength, though. I'm just shooting for the bare minimum, which honestly, I may just tank strength the rest of the week just to prep. Because I want to be able to level the meals for this event quite a bit. And I may just get to the point that I hit 7 spawns and then just call it a day. Because one more spawn really doesn't make that big of a difference. Yes, it makes a difference, but like for 1 week, having 1 less spawn on boosted spawns, that at this point, I don't really care that much about the boosted spawns. It's like, there's 3 boosted spawns, really. Trapinch, Dwebble, and Baggin. I don't really care about Trapinch because I already caught a good one. I already caught an investable one. I just hope you're doing well, Mike. I'm doing great. Thanks for the concerns. Yeah, that feels too close to Mawa with oil and corn. That's true, but it's in a different order, and also Dragonite has oil and corn. And we've literally got 2 Mons that have the identical ingredient list in Victreebel and Mr. Mime, so I wouldn't put it past them. Mr. Mime was the first new Pokemon they ever added to the game, and it was just a clone of Victreebel, which was kind of comical. It was the very first new Pokemon they ever added to the game, and it was like, this doesn't even feel like we're getting a new Pokemon. It was basically just a clone of Victreebel, with a slightly worse skill, because at the time, it had Charge Strength S. They didn't give it a new, unique main skill until way later on. So it may feel kind of samey, but being that it'd be in different orders, I'm sure the devs would be actually willing to do that, because it's not that unique, I guess. Also, doesn't Mawile have potatoes as well? I thought it had potatoes, which oil and potatoes is also on Cramorant, so if that's the case, I want to double check that. Mawile, no, it has tomatoes. Whoops, I got that wrong. Sorry. I don't know everything. But anyway. Yeah. I don't really care too much about the new spawns at Amber Canyon anymore, because I already caught a good Trapinch, which is really the only one that I wanted a great one of. Crustle, it's cool, but I do not have the main skill seeds to be able to afford it. I would like to do something with it, but I think that thing is going to be done on the sleepers, because I just can't afford it on my main account right now. I probably can't afford it on the sleepers either, but the sleepers is kind of the place for things like that to shine. And Baggin, little bit of a hot take from me here. Baggin's cool. Yes, it's strong, but I do not think it is worth simultaneously the hunt and the invest. It's a pretty difficult hunt being a berry specialist. It's one that takes beyond 10 catches in most situations because of the way that the gold sub-skills are determined with the badges. And then once past that point, it takes more to invest, more candies and more dream shards to invest up than every other berry specialist in the game by a pretty significant margin. To the point that and also, it's only really going to be outstanding compared to other options at Amber Canyon, one of the 8 islands if you count expert mode. Meanwhile, everywhere else, sure, it'll be a better generalist than other berry specialists, but only by a couple percentage points. It's only miles better than all the other berry specialists in the game when it's at its island, because there are no other good options for its island. So that's where it's like, I just don't think it's worth the extra cost for both catching it, because it's very difficult, because it takes longer to catch a good berry specialist, and to also invest it. Now, if you catch a good one, I think it is worth the invest, and the invest alone, but you have to have already caught a good one for that investment to be worthwhile. But I think that going out of my way to hunt it is just not worth it. I've got a great Arbok, so I don't necessarily need a Dragonberry specialist. Okay. Mine's skill is fire. Been playing too much ZA. Oh boy. I've got my Switch right here. It's in a case because I've been lately bringing it over to my some family member's house because I play it there because we like to talk about it. He doesn't actually own the game. It's my brother-in-law. He doesn't actually own ZA. He doesn't own the game, so I like to bring it over there, and I actually played the end of the story with him. But yeah. Got an IFM, Help Speed M, Trapinch, and a Dwebble with Help Bonus, Berry Finding S, Skill Trigger M, and a Skill Up Nature. I know BFS is not good on it, but it's tempting to use. I mean, that's interesting, because it... okay, so Berry Finding S is not good on it. I actually think it's kind of negative. Although, just because I think that the clogging of the... it's so bad with Berry Finding. Like, it pretty much gives the Crustle line almost, like, next to no value. It is the only Pokemon that scores below a 5 on my Berry Finding S index. So it's literally the worst Pokemon in the entire game to have Berry Finding S. Because every other Pokemon gains more from it than Crustle does. That being said... it still technically does provide more strength, even if it's not that much more strength. And if everything else lines up, then it's not going to be so much of a hindrance that it's going to set things back. It's kind of how I look at Ingredient Finding M on a Berry Specialist. Do I think it's a hindrance? Overall, I think yes. On a Crustle, I think Berry Finding S is a hindrance. But not so much of a hindrance that it's going to, like, counteract an entire sub-skill. It'll just change the value gained by helping bonus from maybe a 5% productivity boost to like a 2% productivity boost because the inventory offset's gonna cause more problems. So I don't think it's that bad. And if everything else lines up, I still think it's a good Pokemon. And in your case, Skill Trigger M with a Skill Up Nature as well as helping bonus, there's absolutely reason to consider investment, so I don't think pondering it is a bad idea. I'd run a lot of calcs if I were you, the Bizzler. In fact, I can run calcs, just to actually see for you here. Now, obviously, this is going to be with... I need to disable the boosts. We'll go back to base here. Although, my goodness, I really don't want to mess with all these again. Actually, we're going to set it custom, but set it custom to 1.00 so that it still shows up so I can easily modify it in the future. There we go. Okay. Let's see what this Crustle could produce. Now, I don't know what the ingredient list is, but... and that does make a big difference. So, on its purpose, that is. But that Trapinch is also really solid. If it's Well, if it's got the ingredient list you're looking for, which I assume is mono. There's not really a good reason for any other ingredient list on Flygon right now. And it's ABA, so mainly potatoes, which I actually don't have a farmer for yet. That's funny. So then it may actually be worth investing both. Maybe. I'll see what the comparison is right now. So it's help bonus, berry finding S, skill trigger M, skill up nature. I'll assume skill up XP down just because I don't know. He said ABB. Let's just see how many potatoes per day would it make. That's per week. That changes things quite a bit. 38.32 plus 39.32. Oh, whoops. Darn it. 38.32 plus 39.32 is 77, basically. Let's see now. If we run 77 with a Pokemon stats search, production, ingredient counts, we'll add all of them here. I really love this new tool Ranonex added. It's so beautiful. It's one of my favorite new tools they've added. I've been wanting something like this for a while. But yeah, 77. The odds of catching a Flygon. Oh wait, no, not Flygon, because we were looking for potato farmers. So Meowscarada, Golem, Quagsire. There's so many potato options in this game, and I don't know why. Quagsire, Blissey, Mr. Mime, Victory Bell. Why? Why are there so many potato options? That's a whole different thing. For potato count. Let's see. This is gonna actually take a decent amount of time because just how long it's gonna take to run this simulation at level 60 for all those different species. So, Trapinch is mono and makes the meta call on the dot for me and Ranonex. Gentle nature, so no impact. Okay. Well, it could be an impact if your healer is not adequate enough, and if you're having a bad healing day. That's more RNG's impact, though. Gentle energy down natures do make a difference, but they don't make a difference in the calculator if you have a good enough healer. But in practice, they actually would have a difference, just because on those bad RNG days, they will feel it more than your other Pokemon do. And that's really the downside of energy down natures. Not big enough of an impact to really consider it when looking at investing your Pokemon. It may as well be neutral, but yeah. All these options, and I still don't have a good farmer. Yeah, can I give you some of my potato farmers? I've got, like, all of them amassed. I don't think I have a great Victory Bell for potatoes, but... Oh, wait, I actually put Flygon on there when it's not a... Whoops. We'll get rid of it from the list so it doesn't look... Okay, there we go. It's still calculating the matching probability, but you can see that, like... Only Meowscarada has a decent skill count, but also you gotta remember, it's mono, which is gonna end up being twice as rare as all the other ones, because mono lists are twice as rare. So, I'd expect Golems actually might have the highest odds of encountering one that can meet that amount. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that way. But yeah, there's so many options for potatoes, and I just don't get it. Oh, and I forgot to put Crustle on there himself. Wow. Which means this calculation is worthless because I forgot to put Crustle itself on there. Which is actually a bit more different with the way that works. And I have to put fully upgrade as well. That also changes things. My bad. We'll redo the calculation here. That actually could change things quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different potato options they've given us. And all of them I think are viable in their own way. Except for maybe a potato blissey. I don't know why one would invest a potato blissey. Well, I guess if it's what you stumble into and you need a potato farmer, then sure, go for it. But overall, I'm not expecting potato blissey to be something that appears on very many people's accounts because it's not as good for it. And also, it's so much better for eggs, and there's not really anything else for eggs. Anything else that's affordable. There is Delibird, but it's Delibird, it's 16 pips. I'd rather not touch that with a 10-foot pole because I have more respect for my biscuits. Interestingly, Crustle is the one that has the highest percentage of skill combos that can reach that amount. Potatoes, though. If I was to go through my box, I've got a Potato Mime, a Potato Wooper. I'm not investing them. A Potato Happiny. I caught an okay Potato Dwebble today, but it wasn't great. I think Victreebel is the one that I'm missing. And I've got like 3 Potato Geodude / Golem options. And an alright Mono Meowscarada. So yeah. I'm blessed with a double ingredient finding ABB Quag and cursed with his foolishness. I think, literally the best Potato Quagsire you could possibly get for ingredients. Like, it is insane, the Potato Quagsire that I was given, or Wooper. I'm not investing it because I have other intentions with my Wooper candies. Mostly a Clodsire, because I caught an alright Cacao option the other day. And I don't need it for potatoes, because I already have invested Golem. And I'm actually pivoting investment on Golem. But I literally have... I don't know if it's going to be very noticeable on here, but it's Ingredient Finding M, Help Speed S that's Subskill Seedable, then Ingredient Finding S with an Ingredient Finding Up Nature and Main Skill Chance down. Literally, like, no helping bonus, that's true, but if you're looking to just farm as many potatoes as fast as possible, that thing is the best possible permutation of subskills for those first 3 subskills and the nature. Especially with it being a self-recharge mon. But anyway, actually looking at comparisons, that Crustle that you caught, even without even thinking about how helping bonus impacts the entire team, it's still producing more potatoes than pretty much 1 in 20, or only about 1 in 20 Crustles can actually make more potatoes than it can. So if you need a potato farmer, it's an alright option. The real question is, do you want to invest main skill seeds into a potato farmer, and are you alright and content with dealing with the degrees of RNG that come with using skill triggers for your main source of potato productivity over using an ingredient list which is much more reliable? You're probably going to want to keep a bigger stock of potatoes in your bag, and when it gives you a surplus, you're going to have to make sure you have a good amount of diligence to not spend that surplus immediately, to just like drop it on filler, because the days that you have surplus you're going to have equal number of days where you have a deficit, and those ranges is going to be more than with every other ingredient specialist in the game, especially being an ABB option, and especially with being most of the productivity coming from the main skill. So that's some of the downsides of Crustle. But it's better than it's about 1 in 20 odds, and better odds than on any of the other potato farming options in the game. So if you want to be done with the potato farming hunt, then that's reasonable. But it also would cost you 5 main skill seeds, I think? Yeah, 5. But yeah. Quagsire, a weird Pokemon. Here's a list of the possible Pokemon that can handle it, I guess. I actually don't know what all these different ones that it shows are. I think it's all the different permutations that work, but then you'd think you'd see more Crustles since they have a higher ratio of 6.3%, like 38,000 checked, and we don't have thousands here, so I don't know. I think it just shows the top options. Yeah, because it only shows 100 and up. So this must be like the best options. Yeah, that's my guess. I really love this tool, though. It's phenomenal. It's one of the best things. I wish it was a free-to-use one, because I wish everyone had access to it. It's so powerful and so good for getting an idea of, is my Pokemon investable? Suddenly now it's just a matter of just plug it into the calculator, figure out the number, plug it into here, run a calculation, it'll tell you what the rarity is on it. Which is such a good number for knowing. I know I'm going to be running every decent and option that I think is decent through this calculator first. Yeah, I think this is the team I intend to run. With the meal boosts, it can make these meals. But literally, like, I'm going to need to start running Flygon the moment that I hit... What was it? Grade 4? Because I want to make sure that I get 7 spawns at least. Yeah, it definitely isn't a priority for main skill seeds, but I'm content in not catching any other Dwebbles. Yeah, fair enough. And also, having Berry Fighting S helping bonus, I mean, like I said, it's not going to be producing you mountains and mountains of berries. I mean, you can see here at level 60, it's producing 12,556 berry strength per day. If we bring in a Butterfree here that's literally completely neutral at level 60, it's producing 15,671 per day. So, like, even if we set health bonus stacks... Oh, wait a minute. That changes things. I had health bonus stacks set to 2. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. I guess it shouldn't have been 77. It should have been 70. That does change things a little bit. Or we can just set health bonus stacks to 2. That also changes things, but... I'll let that run in the background while we're doing this. Even if we have health bonus stats set to null, which is like the best odds that we can give to that Crustle, it's still weaker than the Butterfree for berry productivity. Which is sad, because this is a completely neutral Butterfree. Nothing going for it at all. And it makes more berry strength than the Crustle does. So, it's like... It makes it make the same amount of berry strength as a neutral... Let's see. I'd have to actually open that chart again. Get you guys get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes here. That's the treatment for... let's see. Treatment for tuning into the stream. Here's my chart that I actually used to calculate that. Here's my chart that I actually used to calculate the index. I've put all the Pokemon that are fully evolved in the game in here. Even berry specialists, and made their own mini index. Because I was just interested to see where berry specialists just don't... They just sneaky snack. So I don't account for the ingredient rate at all. They just sneaky snack is the idea. And then that flags down the, like, how they do on the Berry Fighting S scale. I made a copy of the sheet and then sorted it top to bottom. Crustle is obviously way down here at 4.93. Double 4.93 times 2 is roughly 9.86, which means it's then producing... Crustle produces less berry strength with Berry Fighting S than Sceptile without it. In theory, based off this chart. Does that hold true? I don't know. Let's see. It should, basically. Level 60 Crustle with Berry Fighting S should actually produce less berry strength than a Sceptile without it at level 60. It's showing up as Crustle making a little bit more. But that's likely to do to sneaky snacking, if I had to guess. Let's see if I drop sneaky snacking as an impact. Yes, it does then. I was completely correct when sneaky snacking does not occur. So the reasoning why the Crustle was making more before was because it was entering Sneaky Snacking sooner into the night because of the higher inventory impact. So then it was getting to the point where its ingredient rate doesn't matter as much. Also, Sneaky Snacking helps Crustle more for that berry productivity because it has a higher ingredient rate than Sceptile does. So that's where that difference was coming from. If you eliminate that as a factor by giving them both infinite inventory, then yes, the Sceptile without Berry Finding S makes more berry strength than Crustle with it. Even though it's doubling the amount of berries here. So yeah, it's like you have a Berry Finding S less Sceptile. Basically, I'd say. Just about. By having Berry Finding S on the Crustle. But yeah, this is my index. For those of you that were wondering, Salamence, I didn't put Berry Specialist on it, but it's technically the new best for Berry Finding S target, but it's also a Berry Specialist, so that kind of goes without saying, because there are really no other sub-skills that boost berry productivity, and, well, berries are what Berry Specialists want to do, so it's not like there's any trade-offs when you have Berry Finding S, so it's just like you want it on all of them. I just find it interesting that Sceptile is up here as high as a lot of the other berry specialists in the game, despite not being a berry specialist itself. And that's kind of giving preference to them, because it's assuming Sneaky Snacking here, so it's just kind of wild. But yes, Crustle is way at the bottom. Lower than Ditto, by a decent amount, actually. It goes from 5.02 down to 5.93. That's a whole 0.1 difference. But yeah, they made it just terrible with Berry Finding S. It's like the perfect storm of things to make it weaker for Berry Finding S. So much so that it actually shows up on its own row in my Berry Finding S value index. But like I said, it's not like it's a bad thing to have. Like, it is technically bad because it does hurt the inventory. I'm sure if you ran simulations, because it hurts the inventory, it's probably going to produce less skill strength. Probably produce less ingredients off its ingredient finding, but I bet you that the impact is going to be pretty minimal, especially if you're a frequent collector. If you don't collect the app a lot, though, I would steer clear of it and avoid it, because that is going to make a big impact on the inventory. And for daytime, if you don't collect enough during the day, it would be even noticeable during the day. Because it just doesn't like Berry Finding S. Anyway, it's a pretty chill night. There haven't been too many viewers on the stream, but I am enjoying myself, but I do kind of want to save my voice. I do have work tomorrow and stuff, and it's going to be a longer day at work, so I do want to get my rest, but I did want to make a little stream here of, like, putting together my team, discussing a few things with y'all. So, thank you to everyone who tuned in. I'm going to be calling it here for this stream. Oops, wrong thing here. Yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I hope this event goes well